Hello everyone, my name is Lamarana. Welcome back to the Halal Africa show. In this episode, we're going to talk about the Jola ethnic group of the Senegambia region. If this is your first time on this channel, please subscribe, share, like, and click on the notification bell. The Jolas of the Senegambia region are one of the smallest ethnic groups within that setting. And in the case of the Gambia, they constitute about 10% of the entire population. In Senegal, it's about 6%, and in Guinea-Bissau, less than that. And if you look at the total population of the Jolas within this region, is estimated to be about 1 million people. So that tells you that the Jolas are not a huge ethnic group like that of the Mandinkas, the Wolofs, and the Fulas, but nonetheless, they have a huge impact within that region, and they have a very, very rich culture, rich tradition. But first and foremost, why are they called the Jolas? The name the Jolas was given to them by the Mandinkas, and the meaning is someone who pays for something given to him or done to him, either good or bad. So the Jolas, in the case of the Gambia, you can find them in the southwest region of the western part of the Gambia called the Fonyis. And when you go to Senegal, you can find them predominantly in the southern part of Senegal, which is Casamance. In Bissau, you can find them in the northern part of Bissau, which is to the south of Senegal, that is the Casamance region. But the Jolas as an ethnic group is a very interesting one because not much is known about this particular ethnic group. And the reason being for that is they don't have oral historians like other ethnic groups. So therefore, they don't keep history of their ethnic group like how the Mandinkas and then the Fulas will do. And also they live in very isolated communities on their own, far away from other ethnic groups. So you find out that they are not influenced that much by the wider world around them. And the Jolas also are called a Jamat or a Jamatau. There are various names given to them based on the region that one might find themselves in. But it is also interesting to look at the social structure of the Jolas. It is a classless society in which everybody is equal. But one thing is very important to the Jolas is respect is given to age. So you find out that when you go into a Jola settlement or a village, the oldest person is given the utmost respect, and they hold a very significant position so far as their culture and way of life is concerned. Aside from this, their occupation is mainly centered around farming, fishing, animal rearing, hunting, palm wine tapping, and palm wine oil production, and so forth. So the Jolas, according to most historians, they are one of the oldest ethnic groups found within the Senegambia region. And like I said a while ago, not much is known about their origin. And the closest ethnic group that has a relationship to the Jolas within the Senegambia belt is the Serere people. There is a popular story that talks about how the Jolas and the Sereres are related, but that is going to be for another video. Jola ethnic group have a very rich cultural and traditional beliefs and practices, and they showcase this in so many ways and forms. But we will take it step by step. First, we're going to look at their religion. From a religious point of view, the Jolas, majority of them today are Muslims, about 95%, and 3% of them are Christians, and a handful of them believe in the Jola traditional spiritual religion. But the concept of God in the Jola tradition, it is usually referred to as Emit or Ata Emit. And that simply means the ruler of the universe. And this is very interesting because the Jolas, for a long period of time, some of them have kept their traditional religious beliefs as a way of worship. And you will find out that these animists, as a way of religion, practice Jola rituals as a way of fulfilling their religious obligations through rituals such as pouring libations to spirits, deities, and persons in the form of palm wine or sacrifice of animals. And this is very important because there is a concept called bakin. And in this, they tend to worship other supernatural powers different from the mainstream idea of worshiping God. And even when somebody dies in the Jola community, they believe that a proper burial is very important because that will allow the soul of the departed person to reconcile or go back to their ancestors. So therefore they give the dead person a very, very befitting burial ritual as a means of showing their respect to the deceased person. And you will also find out within the Jola culture and tradition the futampaf. The futampaf is an initiation ceremony or a rite of passage wherein circumcised men or women are taken to the bush for a period of maybe a month, 2 or 3, and during that time they are taught the concept of respect, norms, values, and other attributes that helps an individual to become a better person in society tomorrow. And usually this foot and puff takes place every 15, 20 to 30 years. And a lot of resources are put into this ritual. I think it's just a sign of showing transition from boyhood to manhood, or from being a girl to being a mature woman. So once you go through this initiation ceremony, you are now ready to face life. You are now ready to become a responsible person, either to become a husband or a wife or even a parent for that matter. So therefore you find out that there is a cultural and a traditional significance. Futampa is one of the biggest convergence of the various clans within the Jola ethnic group that come together once every 20 years or 30 years to celebrate this ritual ceremony, which is a very, very important cornerstone of their culture. Moving forward, when it comes to dance, they have one of the most beautiful and colorful cultural dances you can find within the Senegambia region. There is a popular one called the Bugarabu, and in this you have some masquerades that take part in this dancing. We have one that we call the Samai. You will see it. I will insert a video of the Samai dancing, And it is very, very interesting to see how the Samai dances to the beating of the drums, because we have a master drummer. Sometimes this might be one individual who is beating simultaneously 2, 3, or 4 drums at the same time, and you see the skill set of the master drummer, in action. We also have the kumpo. The kumpo is also another masquerade that appears during this festive dancing period. It is usually covered in palm tree leaves, and with something like a pointed metal on the head. Is like a hat, and it will stick that metal to the ground, and it keeps spinning, rolling, and you will also see that in the video. So it is a very exciting cultural sight to see, because I personally love it so much. And growing up as a child in the Gambia, I've gone to so many of those cultural dances, and I have also very good friends within the Jola setting around my area. But another important aspect of the Jola culture and tradition is the different dialects that you have within the Jola ethnic group itself. And one of these is called Ajamat. Sometimes it might be referred to as Ajamatau. You have the Gusile, Karon, Kasa, Huate, and Mulam. There are other dialects different from these, but I'm just naming a few of them. And usually, these various dialects represent the various clans that we have within the Jola ethnic group. And when you go to different locations within where the various areas that they stay, you could, for instance, go to a particular village and they will tell you this particular home is Sanyankunda, Sanyankunda clan, the Bajikunda, the Kolikunda. So this is how they name their clans. And these clans become a very tight-knit community. The sense of belonging is always given supremacy. All members of the society are given that respect, and they're given the honor. There is no such thing like a class system, like I earlier mentioned. You are free to express yourself anyhow you want. You are also free to adopt any trade or skills that you want to without anybody restricting you to a particular class or caste. So that reminds me of the notion of democracy within our African context, because the Jolas are able to prove to us that they were able to, in the past and even presently, to coexist in a classless society where everyone's rights were respected. Another aspect of the Jola culture and tradition is folklore, storytelling, and they are very big on that, simply because storytelling is a way of passing very important knowledge to the younger generation, and it also serves as a link between the past and the present, and they use it also to give inspiration to the young ones. They use proverbs also to communicate and teach the young ones as well. And we will look at some of these proverbs that is found within the Jola setting. And one very famous one that not only unique to the Jola ethnic group, but is says, however long a log of three stays in water, it can never turn into a crocodile. And that means if you come to a Jola settlement as a outsider. No matter how long you stay in their community, you can never become one of them. And this is very important because for you to be considered as a Jola, you have to be first born as a Jola, and you have to live their way of life to its fullest. If not, you cannot be one of them. That doesn't mean that they don't welcome outsiders within their community. I think they are one of the most peaceful ethnic groups within the Senegambia belt, and this is one of the reasons why the name Jola is given to them, because they pay for something done or given to them, whether good or bad. So if you live with them peacefully, you can stay with them for a century, they will never bother you. So that is something very important for us to remember. Another very important proverb is the best medicine for a person is another person. And this is very important because it puts emphasis on human relationship to show you that your importance is dependent upon how you treat your neighbors. Because if your neighbors are happy with you, they become your first line of defense, protection, and everything. So if you live in a peaceful coexistence with your neighbors, they will always come to your help whenever you need it. Last but not the least is, if the dog is not at home, he barks not. And I find this, very funny, is because I think it teaches the notion of, patience. Because usually when somebody is outside of their comfort zone, they become more tolerant, they become more reserved, because they are in an environment that is not familiar to them. So it calms you down, and it makes you to be even more careful of what you do. But if you are within a known environment where everything is familiar to you, you feel emboldened and empowered to do certain things that might be out of the ordinary. So in a nutshell, this is about the Jola ethnic group, and I hope you've learned, as well as willing to explore. I know there is a lot that I might have left out, but please, if you have comments, comment down below in the comment section, and let's keep this conversation going. With that, come to the end of this video. Peace out. God bless you.